All right, so how are you doing? I'm not sure about you, but this whole topic of being forgiven and offering forgiveness and being grateful for all of it, for those of you who are non confrontational, this topic is kind of a struggle because it is a space in which we admit that there has been wrongdoing, whether it is on the part of another or on our own part. It is something that is intimate. It's something that is challenging when we start talking about being forgiven by the Lord, or we start talking about being forgiven by others, or extending forgiveness. A lot of this space isn't so much just the arm's length prayer that we would offer at Thanksgiving dinner, right? I think about the different things that I've been listing in our activities in our family together as we offer our thanks each evening. We're thanking God for things like our family and for our favorite foods and for our favorite thing to do outside. We aren't taking as much time to pause and saying, thank you for the forgiveness I've received from this person, or thank you for the forgiveness I got to extend to that person. Sometimes when we start talking about thankfulness, we got to lean into the hard spaces, and that is the case in this week's topic as we are thankful for forgiveness. We've kind of peeled back the onion, so to speak, on some of those fluffy things that we most certainly need to be thankful for. And we're kind of getting closer into the deep end this week as we talk about being thankful for forgiveness and the forgiveness that's extended to us and the forgiveness that we are offered or encouraged to give to those around us. I will never forget an experience I had when I was in college. I was pulling open the door of my dorm, and I had someone who was an acquaintance stop me. And what she said was this. She said, I am in a space right now where my spouse and I are working really hard in clearing our slate. And she started explaining just the journey that she had been on and what that looked like for her. And she took a moment to let me know that there was a space in which I had shared something or I had said something that really upset her. And in that moment, I began to feel a little bit awkward. I'm someone who doesn't, I love to do hard things, but relationally hard things sometimes are just that. They're hard, right? And in this circumstance, I was kind of blindsided, so I wasn't prepared for it. And she let me know that I had offended her. And she wanted then to ask my forgiveness for just some of the feelings that she had in the midst of all of that. And I'm not sharing this with you so that you can take a moment and judge what that situation or scenario played out or how she acted or how I acted. But there is something that really confronts us when we enter into this space of forgiveness because it is so intimate and it is so deep. And I can't tell you, as she and I parted ways, how solidifying that moment was. I really respected her. She walked away and was visibly freer, visibly unbound from that circumstance and was let go of in that moment. And I was able to have an awareness of myself. I was challenged, but I also, without knowing it, was able to receive a space of freedom in my own right too. When we hold our hands tightly and we are unaware of the forgiveness we have received in Jesus, often then we are unaware of the gift we are able to receive to others. You know, this week in John's sermon, he made a point to highlight the fact that we are able to daily forgive those who have hurt us. In the Lord's model prayer, it says that we are to forgive those who have offended us, and we ask forgiveness of God who we too have offended. And so as we continue to be thankful for forgiveness, I think it's so very important today that we reflect on the forgiveness that you and I have received. For some of us, we have been confronted all week long, right, with needing to offer forgiveness to those around us, and we are holding our hands so tightly in choosing not to forgive people around us. But as we choose to hold our hands tightly and not offer that forgiveness, we really are choking ourselves out. We really are clenching our fists around things that are not ours. And the forgiveness we have received, the deep, deep offenses that we have offered against the Lord, if we've accepted Christ, we have been forgiven. And it's our job then to walk and live with open hands. Friends, I want to encourage you today not to lack boundary, not to lack self-respect, but I do want to encourage you to wrestle with those spaces and places that you are holding so tightly that you won't offer forgiveness to. For some of you, you still need to wrestle with it. And while it is ugly and hard, you need to let God confront you with that ugly, hard truth that maybe you're holding your hand too tightly. And I want to encourage you that as you do that, God will gently open your hand. And for some of us, we forget that our God is a gentleman. He's not going to pry your hand open. But as you offer him your hands that are held so tightly around those things that are unforgiven, as you continue to let his word soak into your heart and in your mind, and you continue to embrace the forgiveness you've received, he will open up your hands and you're able to enter into a space of being relaxed. Just like I was able to relax in that moment that day as my acquaintance and I continued in our conversation, as we were able to depart from one another completely at peace with each other. That is the forgiveness that we receive in Jesus, that our deepest offenses that have been committed against him have been forgiven, and we now are able to do the same for those around us. I want to encourage you today, take time to think about the forgiveness you've received in Jesus. Journal about it, thank God for it, and let that be your thankful prayer today, that you are thankful for the forgiveness you've found in God, through Christ Jesus. Have an awesome day and continue to do hard things, because in him you can. Bye, friends.